ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवण त्वगादीन प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्त देवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षये सूतमहामुनिये वैशम्पायनर्षये अत्र्यादृषिभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। ओम अथ षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। 25th chapter of Gunas we have completely seen it. Now 26th chapter, which has two topics of one AILA GEETHAM, where the Raja Pururava Samrat Chakravarti sings the song of extreme detachment. It's a very good chapter for all those who want to go further in spiritual sadhana, for which the most important qualification required is the Vairagya. Those who want Vairagya, for them how to think, contemplate and get out of all the attachments. This chapter, though there's a story part of it is there, but after that story happened with him, the song of Vairagya which he speaks, he sings, in that so much amount of message is there. Very, very important understandings are there. That is one portion. Then towards that end, after this story is told by Lord Krishna to Uddhava, Bhagavan continues. Therefore, what to do? There he tells about the Sadhu Santa Mahima and the Satsanga Mahima. Those two topics of this chapter are very, very, very useful for sadhana. It clears some of the misunderstandings or cobwebs. It gives some new ideas and techniques for us for our sadhana, which we miss generally in our inadvertence or superficiality. We may miss them. They are given to us in these two chapters or two portions. Let us chant it. Shri Bhagavan मल्लक्षणमिमं कायं लब्ध्वा मद्धर्म आस्थितः आनन्दं परमात्मानम् आत्मस्थं समुपैति मां गुणमय्या जीवयोन्या विमुक्तो ज्ञाननिष्ठया गुणेषु मायामात्रेषु दृश्यमानेष्वस्तुतः वर्तमानोऽपि न पुमान् युज्यते अवस्तुभिर्गुणैः संगं न कुर्याद सतां शिष्णोदरतृपां क्वचिदो तस्यानुगमस्तमस्यन्धे पतत्यन्धानुगान्धवतो ऐलः सम्राडिमां गाधाम् अगायथ बृहच्छ्रवाः ऊर्वशी विरहान्मुह्यन् निर्विण्णः शोकसंयमे त्यक्त्वात्मानं व्रजन्तीं तां नग्न उन्मत्तवत् नृपः विलपन् अन्वगात् जाये घोरे तिष्ठेति विक्लवः कामान तृप्तोऽनुजुषन् क्षुल्लकान् वर्षयामिनीः न वेदयान्तिर्नायान्तिः पूर्वस्या कृष्टचेतनः। ऐल उवाच अहो मे मोहविस्तारः कामकश्मलचेतसः देव्या गृहीतकण्ठस्य न आयुःखण्डा इमे स्मृताः नाहं वेदाभिनिर्मुक्तः सूर्यो वाभ्युदितो मुया मुषितो वर्षपूगानां मताहानि गतां न्युत अहो मे आत्मसम्मोहः येनात्मा योषितां कृतः क्रीडामृगश्चक्रवर्ती नरदेवशिखामणिः सपरिच्छदमात्मानं हित्वा तृणमिवेश्वरं यान्तीं स्त्रियं चान्वगमं नग्नोन्मत्तवरुदन् कुतस्तस्यानुभावः स्यात् तेज ईशत्वमेव वा योऽन्वगच्छन् स्त्रियं यान्तीं खरवत्पादताडितः किं विद्यया किं तपसा किं त्यागेन श्रुतेन वा किं विविक्तेन मौनेन स्त्रीभिर्यस्य मनोहृतं स्वार्थस्या कोविदं धिङ्मां मूर्खं पंडितमानिनं योऽहमीश्वरतां प्राप्य स्त्रीभिर्गोखरवत् जितः सेवतो वर्षपूगान्मे पूर्वस्याधरासवम् न तृप्यत्यात्मभूः कामः वह्निराहुतिभिर्यथा पुंशल्यापहृतं चित्तं कोऽन्वन्यो मोचितुं प्रभुः आत्मा रामेश्वरम् अरुते भगवन्तमधोक्षजं बोधितस्यापि देव्या मे सूक्तवाक्येन दुर्मतेः मनोगतो मनो महामोहः नापयत्यजितात्मनः किमेतया नोपकृतं रज्वा वा सर्पचेतसः रज्जुः स्वरूपा विदुषः योऽहं यत् अजितेन्द्रियः क्वायं मरीमसः कायः दौर्गन्ध्याध्यात्मको अशुचिः क्व गुणाः सौमनस्याद्याः यध्यासो विद्यया कृतः पित्रोः किं स्वं नु भार्यायाः स्वामिनोऽग्नेष्वगृध्रयोः किमात्मनः किं सुहृदाम इति यो नावसीयते तस्मिन् कळेबरे मध्ये तुच्छनिष्ठे विसज्जते अहो सुभद्रं सुनसं सुस्मितं च मुखं स्त्रियाः त्वं मां सरुधिरस्नायु मेदो मज्जास्ति संहतौ विण्मोत्रपूये रमतां कृमीणां कियदन्तरम् अथापि नोपसज्जेत स्त्रीषु स्त्रैणेषु चार्थविदो विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् मनः क्षुभ्यति नान्यथा अदृष्टात् अश्रुतात् भावात् न भावोपजायते असंप्रयुञ्जतः प्राणान् शाम्यति स्तिमितं मनः तस्मात् संगो न कर्तव्यः स्त्रीषु स्त्रैणेषु चेन्द्रियैः विदुषां चाप्यविस्रब्धः षड्वर्गः किमु मादृशाम् श्रीभगवानुवाच एवं प्रगायन् नृपदेवदेवः स ऊर्वशीलोकमथो विहाय आत्मानमात्मनि अवगम्य मां वै उपानमज्ञानविधूतमोहः ततो दुःसङ्गमुत्सृज्य सत्सु सज्जेत बुद्धिमान् सन्त एतस्य छिन्दन्ति मनोव्यासङ्गमुक्तिभिः सन्तोऽनपेक्षामच्चित्ताः प्रशान्ताः समदर्शिनः निर्ममा निरहङ्काराः निर्द्वन्द्वा निष्परिग्रहाः तेषु नित्यं महाभागेषु मत्कथाः सम्भवन्ति हितान् नॄणां जुषतां प्रपुनन्त्यघं ताये शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति यनुमोदन्ति चादृताः मत्पराः श्रद्धानाश्च भक्तिं विन्दन्ति ते मयि भक्तिं लब्धवतः साधोः किमन्यदवशिष्यते मयि अनन्तगुणे ब्रह्मणि आनन्दानुभवात्मनि यतोपश्रयमाणस्य भगवन्तं विभावसुं शीतं भयं तमोप्येति साधून् संसेवतस्तथा निमज्जोन्मज्जतां घोरे भवाब्धौ परमायनं सन्तो ब्रह्मविदः शान्ताः नौर्दृढेवाप्सु मज्जताम् अन्नं हि प्राणिनां प्राणः आर्तानां शरणं त्वहं धर्मो वित्तं नृणां प्रेत्य सन्तोर्वाग्बिभ्यतोरणं सन्तो दिशन्ति चक्षुंषि बहिरर्कः समुत्थितः देवता बान्धवाः सन्तः सन्त आत्माहमेव च वैतसेनस्ततोऽप्येवम् उर्वाश्यालोकनिस्पृहः मुक्तसङ्गो महीमेताम् आत्मा रामस्य चारः इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे ऐलोपाख्यानं नाम षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीभागवत शरणं मम, श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्रीसूत शरणं मम, श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम, श्रीव्यास शरणं मम, श्रीनारद शरणं मम, श्रीकुमार शरणं मम, श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम, श्रीपरब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ कृष्णप्रियं सकलकल्मषनाशनं च मुक्त्येकहेतुः भक्तिविलासकारि सन्तः कथानकमिदं विभुतादरेण लोकैः तीर्थपरिशीलनसेवया किं नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिरित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। श्री भगवानुवाच। Before we do this, the one shloka understanding of entire essence of spiritual sadhana is this 36th mantra of our 25th chapter of 10-11 Skandha Bhagavata Purana. Just feel the meaning of it. We only try to say the literal meaning and leave it to you to feel it. What is said here? Jivo jiva vinirmuktaha gunai chasaya sambhavaihi mayaiva brahmana purnaha navahirnantarascharet. Jivo jiva vinirmukta. You and I now are as living as a jiva. Jiva's life is upaditadatmya, then avidyavdatma, then kamana, karma, karmaphala, samsara. Jiva, jiva vinirmuktaha. That bondage of the jiva bhava, he should get rid of. How? Gunaihi, when he gets rid of the three gunas. How? Ashaya sambhavaihi, when he lives life in such a way, all his ashayas, vasanas, he is getting exhausted. Therefore, through karma, bhakti, ashtangadi, jnanadi, yoga, when the ashayas, vasanas go away, then his gunas influence on him goes away, then he is freed from jiva bhava. This should be our goal. This should be our sadhana. Then this, when it is accomplished by us as our sadhana from our side, what will happen from other side? Mayaiva brahmana purnaha. He becomes one with the Lord who is Brahma, who is a Purna. He is already Purna. He is already Brahma. But he is conditioned by the Ashayas and Gunas, living the life of Jiva. So as long as he is living the life of Jiva, Vasanas, Gunas will bind him. As long as he is giving value to the Gunas and Vasanas, he will continue as Jiva. Jiva is a samsari with Janma Marana Bandhana. What is the Mukta Sthiti? Aham Brahmasmi. Purna Brahma Asmi. Mayaiva Brahmana Purnaha. Aham Brahmasmi. Anubhava is the Mukti. To get into the Mukti, which is already there in us. What we have to do is, that which is not allowing us to experience this ourselves, we just have to pack it and throw it away. What are those things to be packed and thrown? Only three things. Ashayas, Gunas and Jiva Bhava. In that Jiva Bhava continues as long as we are under the influence of Guna. We are under the influence of Guna as long as we are continuously holding on to the Vasanas. Therefore, with the conscious desire as well as the effort that I have to get out of the Vasanas, we have to live life. The result of that should be the Guna Prabhava is no more in me. The result of that is the Jiva Bhava in me is gone. All these three, when go away, they were the covers. Then the self which was covered because of these three is discovered. And the discovery self is Maya eva Brahmana Purna. He become Purna with Brahma Tattva, which is my essential nature. Bhagavan Krishna is saying. Thereafter, Nabahirtnantarascharat is the Jivan Mukta Lakshana. For him, there is no Antarbahe difference. So, Antarbahi means inside, outside, me, not me, all whatever the dualities are there, they all go away. What is the meaning of Antarbahischa? It is Antarbahischa that Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Stitaha. That Narayana is Parabrahma. That Parabrahma is Aham. Clear? This is how, this is the final Siddhanta of Shastras, final Mukta Sthiti, Sadhana, and how where we are bound. All that is told. I am bound as a Jiva because of Vasanas and Gunas. Therefore, I have to be liberated. Liberation experience is Aham Brahmasmi. That is done when I transcend Jiva Bhava and become one with Brahma Tattva. How do I transcend Jiva Bhava? The Karana of sustaining Jiva Bhava, the Trigunas, their effect, and the cause of the Triguna, means the source of Triguna, the Vasanamaya Kosha, we transcend. Then how the Vasanas are transcended? The Vasanamaya Kosha or Avidyamaya Kosha, it has two parts. One is the impressions of the entire worldliness. Second is the avidya of the self. Avidya of the Atma is removed by Atma Vidya. Impressions are removed by Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Ashtanga. When the impressions are gone, then the Guna Prabhava will not be there. Guna Prabhava is not there, so in that Jiva, the Vritya Atmakata goes away. Then the avidya, when it is removed from with the help of the vidya, in the Jiva Bhava, the Vritti Rahita Shuddha Brahma Tattva jo hai, that we will discover as ourselves. So feel in your own language, whatever the way it is convenient to you. I am bound as Jiva, I will be liberated as Brahma. I am Jiva because of my Vasanas and Gunas. The Gunas, Vasanas I transcend and transcend my Jiva Bhava and establish in my Brahma Swarupa. The result of it is Nabahirna Antara Chareta. I am so infinite that there is no in and out to me, as if everything is me, there is nothing other than me. In that otherness only there is somebody known, unknown, wanted, unwanted, liked, unliked, all that. None of the samsara is there. In this way, the Gunatraya Bhaga Yoga chapter concluded with that final guidance by the Lord. Now, when we have to reach to that state of Aham Brahmasmi, transcending Jiva Bhava and the Gunas and Vasanas, what is the biggest obstacle is our own desire, Kamana. Therefore, unless that Kamana is thoroughly understood and transcended, Vasana purgation will not start happening. Remember, through every experiences, we are exhausting Vasana also through Prarabdha exhaustion, but because of not having the clear knowledge, newer Vasanas are again accumulated, going on getting accumulated. When I know the biggest problem is Kamana, when I convincingly myself tell that I have to transcend the Kamanas, with that idea, when I work through Karma Bhakti Yoga, not only the existing Vasanas go away, new are not created. And these desires are nothing but delusion. In the inadvertence of right now, absence of right thinking, that just enters in us and enslaves us for millions of lives. How to tell this topic? Bhagavan Krishna thought, let me tell the story of the Samrat Pururava. And this story is so complete, beautiful, exhaustive. About that only hundreds of things can be spoken. One of the most important thing is he is such a great person with all his efficiencies, abilities, qualities, gunas, all, and yet one guna of his desire was sufficient for making him so miserable, frustrated inside and outside. You know, that's what we studied in one of the topics in one of the texts. All the whiteness or goodness of the cloth, is disturbed by one black spot on the cloth, है कि नहीं? इसलिए कितना अच्छा हम कर रहे हैं, इससे ज़्यादा बुरा हम छोड़ रहे हैं कि नहीं, वो इम्पोर्टेंट होता है. That's so in the world is so funny. The amount of good you do, it will be looked at by as a microscopic level. Chota hi. Little bad is done, it is so big way macro way, made as a macro. See the small issues, how becoming so big to trouble. देख रहे हैं ना आप? Therefore, this katha of that Raja tells how much he has achieved, yet one problem is there enough to trouble. If that Raja of that highest order can go through that, what to talk about your enemy? Point two. Point three, therefore, instead of becoming a Raja, Maharaja, Samrata, get out of the desire, which is the biggest obstacle, en route to spiritual sadhana. Understood? All these type of hundreds of things can be understood through this story. And he himself will say each of the shloka is worth thousands and thousands and millions of Indian rupees. And we should be non-inhibitant and shy less to study these shlokas, this story. And in today's world, because of dirty, funny exposure, everything, it is easy for us to study, not at all big. 10, 20, 30 years back, that story could be hidden. Now need not. Everybody knows everything. So Aram say. But then the crux of it, essence of it. And every shloka reveals so many things that are happening in and around us only. Remember one thing, right now I will say in between towards the end. In the story, the Raja was enslaved by his attachment to Urvashi. Okay. That is only an symbol, that's the actual story, as it is told. And in that, he is attached to Urvashi, that woman. It indicates that anybody attached to anything. He attached to Urvashi, Kamana. Somebody attached to some dhana, somebody to some power, somebody attached to some object, somebody attached to some experience. कुछ भी वो कहाँ भी हम अटैच होते हैं, हम परमात्मा से दूर दुख से पास हो जाते हैं. We have to be very clear. That is the indication. And in the attachments, the strongest attachment is the opposite genders. Therefore, that story Bhagavan selected and put. So that you will not have doubt too. Because the highest is addressed, all else remain addressed. Otherwise, if he takes any example, people stick to the story's utility only to that example, then they become compromised with this type of story or things. Bhagavan doesn't want to give that chance. Therefore, he took that story of the greatest of the king. And in that story, studying, some clear truths are told, to accept which it becomes so painful. But that is a fact. Though it's painful, it's a fact. When you accept and digest it, it sorts out many, many problems. That is called spiritual evolution. What is samsara is nagging continuously in the problems. Spiritual sadhana is sorting out and throwing it away. That's it. As long as you hold on to the world, deha, jiva, bhava, you are still nagging in the world only. Sort it out, means throw away all of that, you are mukta, by the way. Okay. Om Sri Bhagavan Vacha षड्विंशोऽध्यायः. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. First sloka is in continuation of the earlier chapter. Tasmat dehamimam labdhva wala, usko continue karte hue. Then while studying, when we explain, while explaining, I will also try to feel for myself, because we are coming towards the end of the 10 Ekasa Mukti Skandha. पता नहीं फिर कब से पढ़ेंगे, पता नहीं. At least now let us become more concentrating and attentive to feel for ourselves what is said by Lord Krishna. So far we study all Shastras just like Krishna told Arjuna, Krishna told Uddhava, Rishi told the disciple. We never study that Krishna told me. That is why it never enters into me. At least in this chapter we say Krishna is telling us only, me only. मुझे ही बता रहे भगवान, आपको बता रहे, आप ऐसा मानकर चलो तो फायदा होगा. Enough of studying the subjective knowledge objectively. Let us study it subjectively, including ourselves, involving ourselves, feeling ourselves as the student or the disciple or the spoken and the sadhaka, shishya, bhakta, jignasu. मैं मेरे लिए भगवान कह रहे, जब तक मेरे लिए वाला बात नहीं आता, नो शास्त्र विल हेल्प. Krishna told Arjuna Gita. He did not tell me. It's always like that. That's why we are so intelligent to gain the knowledge and keep away and live the life of ignorance efficiently. क्योंकि वो मेरा नहीं हो, भगवान ने अर्जुन को कहा, मेरे को नहीं कहा. मेरे को कहता होता तो आई वुड हैव प्रैक्टिस्ड. था ही नहीं वहां. Is it not? Anyway, first one. Let us see. Mal lakshanam imam kayam labdva madharma astidaha anandam paramatmanam atmastam samupaiti ma. This one shloka is again not only in condition of earlier chapter, but again essence of entire Adhyatmika sadhana. The beauty of our Sanskrit is in one shloka of 2 lines, 4 path, 32 letter, they are capable of giving entire essence to us. Now, I don't want to take chance of imagining that you understood, therefore let me go ahead. I want to stay at one shloka at one time and study it thoroughly and move ahead, only after my satisfaction. First point, mal lakshanam imam kayam labdva. Having obtained, labdva means having obtained, imam kayam, this body as human life, mal lakshanam, which is having the lakshanas of Paramatma. Yesterday I explained that, so I will not repeat it. Here, mal lakshana means mat prakti lakshanam. Lakshana means not qualities. Is that the meaning of lakshana is not qualities. Here, the meaning of lakshana here is qualification. The qualification to have my labdhi. मुझे पाने का क्षमता रखने वाला इस देह को प्राप्त करके. Having obtained this body which is suitable and capable to reach me. Me means the truth reality which gives liberation. So am I feeling that I am a human body, human life? In this human life only Paramatma can be obtained and Mukti can be gained. How much ever time you need, you take, but let the feeling go very deep into heart, where in the deep core of heart, both the things should happen. Ki I am a human being, and with this human life, I must know the truth and get realized, get liberated. If this thought is only at the information intellect level, in the heart, I am human being, but I am Deha. Through the Deha as a human, I want to enjoy all the bhoga. If these things are there deeply in the heart, we will live life of only samsara, not sadhana. And that is why we say again and again to you and me, such portions have to be so repeatedly studied, more than doing upasana and puja and japa, that it becomes inherent in our heart very deep. अब देखो इन्फॉर्मेशन ही नहीं है तो हम बदलेंगे कैसे? हमेशा दुनिया का ही इन्फॉर्मेशन है, फैक्ट का इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है, तो विच विल हेल्प अस टू ट्रांसफॉर्म? Information only when becomes knowledge and conviction, then we transform ourselves. Is it not? So repeatedly, every day these have to be studied, not brushed aside like reading a novel. What are the sentences in English? I am human being. This human life is the only one with which I can do sadhana to reach Paramatma. Mal lakshanam imam kayam labdva. Then when it becomes so deeper, remember, with this kayam, trying to know the Paramatma, other than that, nothing else will I do. If that is achieved, that I am doing nothing other than reaching Paramatma through human life, then I understood this line completely. To make us understand that and to make us do only sadhana, that Bhagavan mentioned this sentence. Not superficial, ऐसा बड़ा मैं तेरे को दे दिया मैंने, उससे हो सके तो तू मुझे पा सकते हो. It's not हो सके पा सके. It is the body, human life alone is the fit one to reach me. No other, which was said in the earlier chapter. Therefore, anything done other than knowing the truth through this human life, you are nukkurum karane nahi rakshati, you are mudhamate. This is only information. Then it should become conviction. That conviction should change our entire day's schedule, life's purpose and goal to exclusively sadhana. And in that, what to do, he is going to tell in the 1.5 line next, which we studied in other parallels. Do all your vidyukta dharma, clear off all the debts, do all the upasana punya, make the antakarana shuddha, go to the guru, surrender, get the upadesha of tattva from him, meditate and realize. These are the things to do. Anything other than it is, we are only creating more bondages. Whether you like it or not, accept it or not, want it or not, you are sentimental, emotional, कुछ भी कहो, फैक्ट बदलता नहीं, हम जैसे भी हैं. हमारे इमोशंस डजंट चेंज, डू नॉट चेंज द फैक्ट्स. मतलब ऐसा क्यों कह रहे हो आप, तो शुभ शुभ बोलो ना. अरे यार, इसके इमोशन नहीं है वो. एनीथिंग यू डू अदर देन trying to know the self or the God, you are only creating more bondages. This is the fact. No, I can't compromise you and change the fact for your sake. ऐसा होता नहीं. So I am pausing. Mal lakshanam imam labdva kayam. This human life. Only for knowing truth. Finally. And to know the truth, whatever sadhanas are to be done, Guru tells, do them, there is nothing wrong. Anything other by our own choice, prompted by our own desires, misguided by the stupid people of the world, anything we do, then we are caught up. Our time is wasted, energy wasted, our ability is wasted, and new dust and dirt is accumulated in the heart. Therefore, let us not do anything other than that sadhana which reveals us the truth, reality, after which alone we can have a sigh of relief that we are mukta. Now, what is that which obstructs this conviction? You think it is objective. It's only, if you ask me, I say you are insincere toward the listening to the words of the Guru, and we are only murkha and bewakoof, that we don't want to do good for us. दैट इज द ओनली थिंग ना. गुरु के ऊपर श्रद्धा नहीं है, खुद को उत्थान करना नहीं चाहते हो, इसलिए नहीं सुन रहे हो, उसको नहीं समझ रहे हो. इट इज टू मी आल्सो, नॉट आई एम टीचिंग यू आर लिसनिंग फ्रॉम मी. बोथ आर इन सेम बोट. After listening to this sentence, anything done other than wanting to know the truth is again insulting this sentence only. Then how will the God or Bhagavata help us? More than this, they can't help us. We have to get helped by practicing what they say. Mallakshanam yamam labdva kayam. Okay. Mallakshanam yamam kayam labdva. First, recognize human life. In this only, Paramatma can be gained. Therefore, convinced that every ounce of my time energy, I'll only use to know the Paramatma. ऐसा खुद कहते रहना, और जहां भी ये बातें कहते हैं वहीं सुनना. एंड टू द लॉर्ड आल्सो यू हैव टू प्रे ओनली दिस. May I exclusively spend every moment of my life only to know the truth, only to know the self, only to get liberated from Dehosmi, Jivosmi to Aham Brahmasmi. देखो, यहाँ तक आने के लिए 10-15 साल सत्संग लगातार सुनना पड़ता है. Otherwise, this goes ahead, away. Again, we want to become Sukhi, Dukhi in the world only with Artha, Kama, Ityadi. Even while listening to this also, what is there in your mind? Each one of you think. I am thinking for myself. That with this Sharira, with this whatever the Gurudev work is giving me, with that am I aiming at some other goal to achieve, or I am aiming at the goal of Paramatma? That decides what maturity I have, and that decides what I am going to achieve also. And if I am true and honest to myself, because ultimately I have to answer myself, I have to be honest, I must say that I will do only Paramatma sadhana. Anything else for that. Anything other than that, उस गली में जाएंगे नहीं हम. That conviction should come. And as much I am explaining, Lord Krishna cannot write. If he writes, the book becomes this much big. Therefore, he will leave the sentence only that much, then he will send the people like us to speak. Like Bhagavan Shankara comes to say what Vishnu Sahasranama Upanishad said through his Bhashya. Bhagavan only comes in this form. So Lord sends people who can explain to us. So Mallakshanam imam kayam labdva, human life. Earlier chapters already it was said many times, even Devatas ask for this Deha. So many things we have spoken already. then all the weaknesses, all the impurities, all the tendencies, vasanas, whichever are prompting me to do anything other than sadhana, those we have to cleanse them, those we have to uproot, we have to wash them. That is what also the sadhana, very important. Second part, what is that? Ki mad dharma astitaha. So to know the Lord is the human life is given, and the way to know the Lord in the human life, as after we recognize we are human and we are convinced about it, committed for that. Sadhana is mad dharma astitaha. Here mad dharma is Bhagavata dharma, bhakti dharma. Mad dharma is what Bhagavan taught us through Upanishad and Bhagavata as sadhanas to be done to reach Him. And we exhaustively spoke about it yesterday before. In the Bhakti Marga, it is Navada Bhakti Ityadi. In the Jnana Marga, it is Shravana Manana Ityadi. Before that, Viveka Vairagya. In the Bhakti, the final step is Sharanagati. In the Jnana, the final step is Naham Jivosmi, Naham Devosmi, Aham Brahmasmi. This is called a Madharma Astitaha. Now again, every word is important. Madharma means भगवान के द्वारा बताया हुआ ज्ञान और भक्त साधना को ही कर्तव्य के रूप में लेना, बिकॉज धर्म इज कर्तव्य रूप. मद धर्म मीन्स all those instructions which I gave as sadhana. When you do, you reach me. Those sadhanas are must be done. Anything that is must to be done is called as dharma. Anything other than that is called adharma. Like when I go to an office, joined in that, whatever the work is given to me, I must do it. For that only I am paid. That is a dharma. Not doing it and anything else doing, both are adharma. धर्म को नहीं करना भी अधर्म है और कुछ करना भी अधर्म है, याद रखना. Therefore, मत धर्म is to be deeply understood. That's why that word is used. मत धर्म means मेरे द्वारा दिए हुए साधनाओं को कर्तव्यता रूप में स्वीकार करना. And sadhanas are already told. Bhakti sadhanas, jnana sadhanas. Upanishad is teaching us every day. What is Upanishad teaching us? After having purified the heart and all, listening from the Guru, the Tattvamasi Mahavakya or Upanishad Vakyas, in that we have to transcend the Rupanama of the Jagat and reach Brahma, and we have to transcend the Panchakosha and reach the Atma, and Brahma and Atma is one. We have to experience it. No, इससे सिंपल और क्या हो सकता है बताने में, यही है. दिस वर्ड उपनिषद सेज. दैट्स कॉल्ड मद्धर्मः. सेकंड वर्ड इज आस्थितः. ईच वर्ड इज इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट्स मैं कह रहा हूं आराम से पढ़ो. आसमन्तात स्थितः. आसमन्तात, दिस आसमन्तात वर्ड इन अदर टेक्स्ट केम, वी एक्सप्लेन देयर. उपनिषद में आया था वो. समन्त मीन्स बाय ऑल मीन्स, फ्रॉम ऑल एंगल्स, इन एज मेनी वेज एज पॉसिबल. Like that great person said, do good at all places as possible, at all times as possible, by all the means as possible, in all the ways possible. You understand? Do good at all places, at all times, in all situations, by all means, at every cost. This is called as asamantat. हर तरह से कोशिश. Like somebody, child, somebody deceased, you do all efforts to give that fellow comfort right from the beginning till you take to hospital, admit, get treated and bring back. So in the same way, asamantat is the meaning of a word. Sthita means established. Madharma asthita means what? By all means we are established in practicing these sadhanas told by the Lord with the kartavyata buddhi called as dharma. Mata dharma asthita. That's how the power of the words when you dissect them and understand them. Else we just brush aside by superficial saying of some our known meaning. What meaning we know and with what meaning the gurus say, it is a lot of Jamin Asman ka farak. That is why the Bhashya. Nowadays, the Telugu people are listening Vishnu Sahasranam Bhashya. एक नाम तो कितना अद्भुत है, कितना आश्चर्यचकित है. Surprised only. ऐसा भी उसका मीनिंग हो सकता है क्या? Today we saw the Suvrataha. Ramayana was quoted by Adi Shankara. Then Sumukhaha, how beautifully Tulsi Ramayana meaning, which is there in the Valmiki, that was quoted today. Why he called Sukshmaha, Sughoshaha, Sukhadaha, Suhrutu. Ho ho Bhashya. Here also Mad Dharma Astitaha looks to be two words only. But in that four words are there. Mat, Mat Dharma, A and Astita. Mat means told by me, Dharma, the sadhanas. A means by all means, Stita means established in doing. मतलब किसी कीमत पर करूंगा, सब कीमत दूंगा करने के लिए और कोई छोड़ूंगा ना मैं कसत. That's called as मत धर्म आस्थिता. No, this is how we have to bound ourselves. We have to bind ourselves to get liberated. On the name of liberation or freedom, we get bound to samsara as jiva. But only when we get bound to ourselves, by ourselves, we bind ourselves with that committed life that liberates us from all bondages later on. जैसे जो दुनिया का फ्रीडम चाहता है वो हमेशा बंधन में रहता है. जो गुरु और भगवान के बंधन में आता है उसको वो लोग लिबरेशन दिलाते हैं. They give them liberation. Are you clear now? Labdva Mallakshanam imam kayam labdva. Do you feel that? Madharma astitaha. Do you feel that? Is it not? If that feeling is there, you go back home and immediately do this thing only. What Bhagavan told us, sadhana of bhakti and jnana. You note it down. You mug it up. You become so unambiguous, clear, vagueness, without vagueness, with the conviction ki, therefore this is sadhana told by Lord, then it will be taken by me as dharma and I am astitaha. I am going to do only this. If that's not happened means we have like every other studies or classes, we have neglected our sadhana, it is equivalent to neglecting here also. If a question remains in us, कि अच्छा क्या होता है साधना, क्या करूं मैं, मतलब मध्यम आस्थिता has not come to us. How can we be made still after so many years of listening? That means we were not listening. We were listening, we were not. We are hearing, not listening. Gurudev's definition: to listen is to hear with intellectual alertness and attention of awareness. Be pakka while listening so that it is so clearly convinced in our heart. So, two lines are explained. Mallakshana Vimakayam Ladva Madharma Astitaha. Third one, Madharma Astitaha, he will reach. When he does this sadhana as a human being, in which alone sadhana can be done and siddhi is reached, what is the siddhi is explained in the next line. Four things are told. So pakka, beautiful, complete it is. What is? First is Anandam. He will become Anandi. अभी तक क्या था वो नंदी. नंदी एटलीस्ट भगवान शिव का वाहन है. Anandam. And what is Anandam? Parama Atmanam, which is our own innermost supreme self. That itself is Ananda. He will get it. Where is that Atmastam? Are in you only. You will not go anywhere. Samyak upaiti. Fully well, he will reach and experience it. Mama. That also, that inner Atma Ananda is me only. I am that. मैं सबके अंदर आत्मा के रूप में बैठा हूं. भगवान कहते ना, दैट आत्मा इज मी ओनली. सो आनंदम परमात्मानम आत्मस्थम मा सम्यक उपैति. He will reach without doubt, rather he should reach. Who tries, they will definitely reach. Like that last sloka of the earlier chapter also, so simple, direct, but essence of everything. The first sloka also, simple, direct, but the essence. मल्लक्षणमिमं कायं लब्ध्वा मद्धर्मा स्थितः आनंदम परमात्मानम आत्मस्थम माम सम्यक उपैति. So he will reach to that bliss, the ananda, which is the nature of his own supreme self, which is very much inside in him only. Naturally, how the self can be outside? Atmastam, and that also is mam, that is me only. So mam samupaiti is bhakti marga, bhakti bhasha, anandam paramatmanam swatmastam is jnana bhasha. Jnana bhasha. In the language of devotion, he will reach me. In the language of knowledge, he will reach his own self within himself, which is of the nature of infinite bliss. And that devotional language of me and the spiritual knowledge language of Atma or Brahma are not two. It's only way of saying it. But the experience is one. That's why Bhagavan has put all of them in one line. So that we should never have a doubt कि भक्ति के चरम स्थिति में जहाँ पहुँचते हैं ज्ञान के चरम से वो अलग है क्या और अलग नहीं, वो एक ही. So see here, you will discover me in your own heart as your own self. Clear? Your own supreme self. You will discover me in your own heart as your own supreme self, whose nature is Anandam. For which every one of us are struggling every moment in every life, in every yoni. Is it not? This is so simple, direct, straightforward, straight shortcut. Recognize I am human being, know that in this body only Paramatma is gained and Mukti is gained. Therefore, follow the sadhana, Madharma Siddha, and ensure that in your own self you discover your own real self, that is Bhagavan himself. And the joy is Anandam. Anandam Paramatmanam Swatmastam Samubhaiti Mama. Atmastam Samubhaiti Mama. This is what. अब इसको जितने बार मनन चिंतन करके उसका सार ग्रहण करो उतना मेच्योर है. Okay, now the second shloka is detailed of what is said in the first shloka regarding all sadhanas. And this is again essence of our chapter 25. Clear? एक एक बात जैसे पहले श्लोक का एक एक शब्द सुनाया ऐसे इसका भी समझाएंगे. ध्यान से सुनना. And you are very attentive nowadays. I don't know why. अच्छी तरह सो रहे क्या दिन भर रात भर? क्लास इतना ध्यान से सुन रहे हो? नींद नहीं आ रही आजकल क्लास में? You have become good children, good students. See, I'll just feel that, chant that, while chanting only I will feel the meaning so that I can explain you with feeling. You also try to feel to the extent possible. One by one. Gunamaya Jiva Yonya Vimuktaha Jnana Nishtaya. साधना एंड सिद्धि हो गया. गुणेषु मायामात्रेषु दृश्यमानेषु अवस्तुतः वर्तमानोऽपि न पुमानो युज्यते अवस्तुभिः गुणैः. In a layman's language, without referring to every word's meaning, having done sadhana and reached the self, you are in the same world but not touched by the world like it used to happen earlier. साधना करके भगवान को पाने के बाद इसी जगत में रहते हुए किसी चीज से आप अफेक्टेड नहीं होते हो. दैट्स कॉल्ड जीवन मुक्त. दैट्स अ सिंपल मीनिंग. अच्छा हो गया समझ? आगे बढ़ो. नहीं, आई वांट टू एक्सप्लेन एवरी लाइन. So first line is what? Vimuktaha. Vimukta. Mukta means getting liberated. Vimukta means getting fully liberated, not to come back to the bondage again. Vimukta means Visheshena Muktaha. Visheshena means fully, completely liberated. What is that we have to get liberated from? Gunamaya Jiva Yonya. Yoni means Bhava. So from the Jiva Bhava, we have to get fully liberated. So Jiva Yonya Vimuktaha. Jiva Bhavena Vimuktaha. Okay? Where from the Jiva Bhava is happening? Essence of the entire earlier chapter because of the gunas. Therefore, the Jiva Yoni is equal to Gunamayi. Because of the guna, the Jiva Bhava is there. They have to get rid of the Jiva Yoni or Jiva Bhava. How? By getting rid of the influence of the gunas. And don't ask then how to get rid of the gunas. Again, I have to go back and tell 18 days the chapter 25. By practicing sattva, transcend rajas and tamas. And with the sattva, do tattva chintana and reach me and transcend the sattva also. So, see that feeling of that sentence. Gunamaya jiva yonya vimuktaha. Freed from the jiva bhava, which is continuously maintained because of these three gunas. Okay, this is to be achieved. How to do that, sir? Please tell me sadhana. There are no two sadhanas. Ek hi sadhana. What is that? Atmanishtaya. See the next word? By getting established in your own supreme Atma or the self. Which Atma? Which was in the earlier sloka? Anandam Paramatmanam. Not anything you consider as Atma, the real Atma, which can never become Anatma. All other Atme, on inquiry, are proved to be Anatma. Which are those Atme? Panchakoshas. This we'll study in Taittiriya in the morning. So Sharira also felt like Atma. Mana, Indriya, Buddhi, सबको हम आत्मा का दर्जा important देते हैं. But they're all at one level can be detached or kept aside by discovering them as anatma. But there is Atma, self pure in me, which can never be objectified as not self. That is the real Atma. In that, having gained Nishtha through all the possible sadhanas. So, Atma Nishtaya, Jiva Yonya Gunamaya Vimuktaha. Simple. Sadhana ho gaya isme. By getting established in my real essential self, I get rid of the Jiva Bhava, which was born from the Gunas. So you start from here, try to become Atmanishta Purusha. In that effort only, the Jiva Bhava Gunas go away. Or you drop the Jiva Bhava, in that effort only Gunas go away, Atmanishta comes. Or keep on detaching from the Gunas, the Jiva Bhava goes away, Atmanishta happens. To have the Atmanishta, nothing to be specially done, because Atma is always there as myself. लकीली वो एक्स्ट्रा काम करने का जरूरत नहीं. कवर को रिमूव करो, तुमको हमेशा मैं आत्मा हूं रहता है, उसको लाने की जरूरत नहीं. That's the greatest thing. That the cover, if it is dispelled or removed, the self is revealed because it's eternally there. If the self also has gone somewhere, it's just because you become worldly, self also went somewhere. Then when you become spiritual, then you have to call the self also from somewhere. यार तू कहाँ गया, तो आ जाना, मैं आ गया हूँ. अच्छा तुमने मेरे को इतना दूर मेरे को छोड़ के गए, मैं भी नहीं आऊंगा, तंग करूंगा कुछ दिन के लिए. This is the Atma will not say like that. It can't go anywhere. It is always inside. So Atmanishtaya Gunamaya Jivayonya Vimuktaha. This is what sadhana done, Siddhi achieved. Then such person, how he lives in the world, how he interacts with the world, how he feels about all that, is said in the second, third line. Second is Guneshu Maya Matreshu Dushyamaneshu Avastutaha. After getting the Atmanishta, the sign of Atmanishta is the clear-cut understanding about avastutva, non-realityness or unrealness, about all these things. Drushyamaneshu avastutaha. All the Drishyamana Jagat is convinced about it is not real. Avastu. Where from these gunas came, vastus came, Drishyamana vastus, because of gunas. Where from the gunas like it came? Gunas came from where? Maya Matreshu. Clear? Gunayeshu, Maya Matreshu, Drishyamaneshu, Avastutaha. Wow. That is the Mirage Vata. When you have gone there and seen that there is no water at all, it is only sunlight reflection, thereafter, because of the Maya, that Drushya has been seen of Mirage water. But is it real? Vastutaha? No, avastu. Dekho? Pause here. It is a heavy subject but important. Slowly let us allow this knowledge to sink in us. So in our layman's language, after getting Atmanishta, entire Drushya Jagat, remember, is understood to be unreal. But still it is seen why? Because of Maya. What is Maya working? How the Maya is working in imagining or projecting this world, Drishyamana world? Guna. And in Paramatma, remember, neither Maya is there, nor Gunas are there, nor Guna Krita, this entire Jagat is there. Now one thing, why now we should be very clear, in last 15 days class, entire world is nothing but Trigunatmika. And three gunas are nothing but Prakriti. Prakriti is nothing but Maya. इसमें doubt नहीं होना. And all of them are not there in Paramatma. Clear? And experiencing Paramatma only is Mukti. If not experienced, then this Maya Krita Prakriti, Prakriti Janita Triguna, Trigunatmaka Jagat is taken by us as real, and all our involvements in that appear to be real, then we really get suffered. That's called bondage. As a self, I can't suffer. I'm infinite. I should be blissful. But how much suffering I'm going through? This suffering is because the unreal gunas and all this is taken as real. The Jagat. थोड़ा ध्यान देना. Therefore, the entire world is Trigunaatmaka. Trigunaatmaka. Trigunas are from Prakriti. Prakriti, in other words, called as Maya. They always are there only to bind. Luckily, in that one guna sattva, if rightly utilized, will help to get liberated both from rajas tamas, both from itself also, taking us to Atmanishta, the reality. So, Guneshu Maya Matruseshu Drushamaneshu Avastuta. You'll get this conviction. After that, happen Vartamanopi. Among those words, objects, even though he's doing Vyavahara, Vartamanepi, Na Puman Yujjate. He will not get identified with them. Why? Avastubihi Gunaihi. Because he understood these Vastus are unreal. इट हैज टू बी वेरी डीपली थॉट एंड अंडरस्टूड. नहीं तो ऊपर ऊपर सोचो तो नहीं आएगा आपको समझ में. By saying the second, third sentence, what he's saying is how the Jivan Muktas are still in the same world, responding to the world just like we too respond. It looks to be same. When I ask my Guru or any Mahatma, आप चाय पियेंगे कॉफी पियेंगे, मुझे काफ़ी अच्छी लगती, कॉफी लाओ. अरे उनको भी कुछ अच्छे लगने के होते हैं क्या? वो भी चाय कॉफी पीते हैं क्या? उनको भी गुस्सा आता है क्या? वो भी व्यवहार कर रहे हैं क्या? तो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन हिम एंड मी? वी आर लाइक सेम. Either he is not Jivan Mukta or I am also Jivan Mukta. This doubt comes. The answer is this. He is doing Vyavahara in the world just like us. As regards the Vyavahara concern is almost same for him and us. The one difference in him and us is we take this world as real. He knows it is unreal. Why for him the world is unreal? Because he understood the reality, the self. He understood the self, the reality, experienced it, and he also knows the whole world is made of the gunas, gunas made of the Maya. Maya at the ultimate level is non-existent. It is not there. Though she is very powerful as a mother, we worship, we should worship her, invoke her. But final step when you reach Purusha, he alone is there. Where is that alata? Think about it. Where is this snake? Think about it. It is, remember one English sentence I'll say, try to catch it. Where is the snake? Snake is there in its own absence. If we can solve this riddle-like sentence, you are understanding Vedanta. Where is the snake? It is there in its own absence. What do you mean? It is in its own absence. It is never there, but it only appeared. That is called Maya, we are saying, no? अब मैं क्यों आपको जवाब दूं? खुद ही सोचो. You were worried saying that it is snake. And every type of hangama you did, let us say. Then somehow you are convinced by me and others, taken near to that so-called snake by you, your imagination. Then you are made to touch it and all. Then it is your experience, not again our prompting, that you have known it as a rope. Now our question is to you. You answer it because it was your experience. Where from the snake came? Where did it stay? Where did it go? That did not come from anywhere in the world. It did not come from the rope, and I have not put it. And you have also innocently not brought it. Where from it came then? From nowhere. Instead of saying nowhere, we say just in the ignorance of the mind, in that impression of the mind. Ignorance that it is a rope leading to the imagination of snake because of the snake samskar. From somewhere they are there. Is it not? किसी को स्नेक है तो स्नेक दिखेगा संस्कार, किसी को गारलैंड के संस्कार है तो गारलैंड दिखेगा. Again, I am pausing for you to understand because this shloka is so beautiful and complete also. Because otherwise, what will be our doubt? So, one person become Brahmagnani, there is no world for him, therefore he will die, or the world is destroyed. ऐसा नहीं होता. He'll be same world lives, but he will experience the self only, and the entire thing he knows, it all is Maya. Therefore, he takes it unreal, therefore unattached. Na yujyate avastuvihi gunai. When the gunas and guna create a jagat is understood as avastu unreal, how can he be attached with? After knowing it as rope, even though it appears as snake, will you be afraid again afterwards? No. Shell is shell known as shell. Earlier you thought of a silver. After that you will not think that let me sell it and get money. Silver ko. Again I'll read every line. Gudamaya jivayonya vimuktaha. When one is getting liberated from the jiva bhava which was created by the gunas. How? By becoming gunatita. How? By establishing in your own inner real self called as jnana nishtaya. Nishta means establishment. Jnana means Atma Jnana. Because of the Brahma Jnana or Atma Jnana, which was said above, Paramatmanam Atma Sopaiti, when he establishes self, the Gunamayi Jiva Yoni is gone away. So now what is he? Aham Brahmasmi. That Aham Brahmasmi Anubhav Yukta functionally will be there in the world. He is not a dead carcass कि जन्म आत्मा मिल गया बंदा मर गया. ऐसा है तो हमको पढ़ाने वाला कोई होगा ही नहीं, क्योंकि जो भी पढ़ा रहे हो जिंदा है मतलब आत्मा नहीं मिला उसको. No, no, no. This is where many people fail to lift their intellect's capacity or to deepen their intellect subtlety to understand. यही थोड़ा टाइम लगता है. बट टाइम दो तो एक दिन वो कन्विक्शन आने लगता है. बट अ कन्विक्शन having established his own self, that Jivan Mukta Purusha will be in the same world doing Vyavahara like us only. But difference between him and us is we are attached with Ragadvesha because we take it as real. He has none of the attachments because he knows they are all Maya Mithya created. They are not real. We take movie as real, therefore we feel emotional. But the hero, director, producer, they all know it's not real. They are not worried about the movie or story. They are worried about how many people have seen, how much money came. The Jadugar, when he does Jadu, he is not bound by his Jadu because he knows it's not real. His own family members and the people whom he involved in that Jadu, they are not bound because they know it's a Jadu and real nahi hai. He says, I will call my wife and I'll put her and make her into 3 pieces. अगर रियली करते हैं तो वो आएगी थोड़ी क्या? आएगी तो हर एग्जीबिशन में कैसी है वो? इन एवरी शो ऑफ दैट जादू. शी नोज कि ये मिथ्या है. यू विल नॉट काटो इनटू मी. यू कैन टच मी. मैं इनको रोज पीटता हूँ. हाउ कैन ही टच? शी नोज इट इज मिथ्या. It and you and I are surprised. We take it as if real that she is made to 3 pieces and we get surprised. कैसा हुआ ये? हम सोचते हैं यार आपको जवाब मिलेगा ही नहीं. क्यों? क्या हुआ ही नहीं. In the same way, but for that jadugar, he first in the beginning only he knows it is mithya maya. So to Atma Jnani knows everything in the world is mithya while doing that vyavahara. And there are 2-3 answers in that is what? Yet he wanted to help the jivas, therefore he did. Or jivas needed somebody to guide, therefore he was there. Or it is Ishvara Samashti Leela that he should be serving. These are the answers given why he continues to live and serve the world. And ask him, are you doing even all this service? He says, no, I am not a Karta Bhokta. Even this also is a part of the Maya only. Remember, entire Satsanga with Sadguru and all that also is part of Maya. Because in Parabrahma, there is no Guru, there is no Shishya, there is no Jiva, there is no Bandhana, there are no Upadhis, only Parabrahma is there. Therefore, if in Parabrahma, if he is Ekameva Advayam, how can there be their Upasya Deva or the Guru to teach us, that is nahi hai. Lekin, though it is a part of Maya, but it is the only one which lifts us to beyond Maya, therefore we accept it for the sake of sadhana. And ultimately, as we said in the earlier class also, even this also has to be transcended. If you hold on to Guru as Guru and you are a Shishya, you will not become Brahma. Therefore, you reach Brahma Tattva. After that, out of gratitude and to guide others, you come back to the same earlier emotion of, I am his disciple, he is my Guru. Why? Because Shastra says you can have Advaita with everybody but not with the Guru. Advaitam Trishlokeshu, Advaitam, Nadvaitam Guruna Saha. Because it sets a wrong trend. Therefore, to my Guru, I will always do Upasana. I will not say that Guru, you are Brahman, I am Brahman. There was enough of my respecting you now. I'll stop it. If you respect me now, you respect me. ऐसा नहीं होता. ये गुरु शिष्य परंपरा आगे वालों को शिष्य बनकर गुरु से उनको उपदेश दिलाना है, उसको लिए आदर्श स्थापित करने के लिए ये चलता ही रहता है. A devotee or a disciple, even though they recognize the God, still they continue to be disciple and devotee only to their own Guru and God. Otherwise, the whole system will be collapsing. That is, by the way, I am just adding the point. But here, very clear, Guneshu Maya Matreshu Dushyamaneshu Avastutaha. So, Dushyamaneshu Maya Matreshu Guneshu. Guneshu means all the object of the world. Dushyamaneshu Guneshu means all the things and the beings of the world which are seen by. And when he is already understood it, what is understanding about all of them? Maya Matreshu. What is the meaning of Maya? Avastuta. मतलब नहीं है लेकिन दिखता है. उनमें वर्तमान है भी, even though he is involving in them, न युज्यते. Because अवस्तु भी गुण ही. How can anybody be attached to a thing which is non-existent? Is it not? It is not existing. It is not appearing. देखो दुनिया दिखती ही नहीं होती तो प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं होता. प्रॉब्लम इज दिख रहा है. हमको क्या करना है? दुनिया को देखते हुए भी परमात्मा को मिस नहीं करना. दैट्स कॉल्ड जीवन मुक्ति. दैट इज अ नॉलेज. I like these two shlokas. Mallakshnamyam labdva, kayam labdva madharma astitah, anandam parmatmanam atmastam sampaiti mam, then gunamaya jivayonya vimuktah jnananishthaya. With atma jnananishta, when one gets liberated from the gunamaya jiva bhava, is it no atma anubhava. Such person, drushyamaneshu vastushu maya matreshu guneshu vartamana api. So, drushyamaneshu Guneshu, Maya Matreshu, Vartamana api. Even though he is involving in the Doshyamana Vastus, that's called Gunas here, he understands that they are Avastutaha, they are unreal, they are only projection of the Maya. Therefore, the main sentence is Nas Yujyate, he is not attached with them. Why? Because attachment is not possible. Avastuvihi Gunaihi. Avastu means non-existing. Guna means Vastus. अवस्तु मीन्स जो वास्तव में नहीं है. गुण मतलब जो वस्तु वास्तव में नहीं है, आप उससे कैसे अटैच होते हो? How can you attach the snake now? It is vastu which is avastava. Here deliberately Bhagavan is using what the guna for the objects of the world, only to insist on to us, don't anymore see the world as objects, see they are gunas. गुण ही इस जगत के रूप में. तमोगुण इज द ऑब्जेक्ट्स, रजोगुण इज द एक्टिविटीज, सत्वगुण इज द नॉलेज. These three only are there in the world. Knowledge is gained by indriyas and antakarana. Actions are done by karmendriyas, prana, shakti. And the vastus are there, dravya, just like that, used by us. हो गया. Now this is what is sadhana to be done. Where to begin from? How to begin my sadhana so that I get detached from the objects and I get detached or freed from the tamas rajas. I enter into Shuddha Sattva Guna and I use it for knowing the Atmavastu. Once I know the Atmavastu and look back, I understand everything to be unreal. Yes, though as long as I'm alive, I involve in them, but not attached to with because I know that it's unreal. See, when the appearance is given the status of reality, reality is hidden. Okay? When the appearance reality status is removed, reality is apprehended. After the apprehension of reality, the unreal world appears, but it is not taken as real. Therefore, there will be no attachment. दो दिखने वाली जगत को जो सत्य नहीं है सत्य मानते हैं, उनको भगवान नहीं दिखते जो सत्य है. ये जगत सत्य नहीं है जो जानता है, उसको भगवान जो सत्य है दिखेगा. जो सत्य रूपी भगवान दिखनेगा मतलब अनुभव में आएगा, उसके बाद जगत दिखेगा, लेकिन ये उनसे अटैच नहीं होगा, क्योंकि उसको पता है कि दिख रहा है लेकिन सत्य नहीं है. For this, one important basic Vedantic point we have to understand. What is that? Just some because some things are seen or experienced, it need not be real. This is one of the crucial thought of Vedanta to catch. Just because something is experienced, it need not be real. It's a big, big thought. Like you experience sunrise, it's not real. You are experiencing Bhumi to be stationary, but it is not real. It is moving with so many thousands of kilometers speed. But do you experience it? But हो रहा है वो. In the train, you don't experience that you are moving ahead, but you are moving, and you experience the trees are going back, but they are not going. Understood? You have experienced the snake and fear, though it is not real. You are not experiencing, but the rope is very much there. अनुभव नहीं हुआ तो नहीं कहना, नहीं है कहना, हुआ है देवपर सत्य है कहना, दोनों करेक्ट नहीं हो सकते. इंटरेस्टिंग. That's called power of Maya. Aghatita Ghatana Patiyasi Maya. I mean this only. Ki it creates the non-existing world. It gives reality to the world. It makes us give value to the world. It makes us indulge in the world. And it makes us feel that we are experiencing the world of Sukha Dukkha really. ये सब माया का खेल है, यही माया का शक्ति है. Or never that Maya allows us to understand this. That is its another power. Unless we surrender to the Guru to transcend the Maya, and unless His grace comes, we cannot. That's what Pururava will say after 10-12 shlokas of his Akroshar Shokar Dukkha, ki other than Paramatma, who can free me from this misery Maya attachment. That is why Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarante. Now in this regard, no, एक sentence लेके जोड़ेंगे कि in this world there's no thing powerful than the Maya other than Bhagavan. Without holding on to Bhagavan and His grace, not even a person of highest knowledge and everything also cannot get freed from the clutches of Maya. माया से ज्यादा शक्तिशाली कौन है? भगवान. इसलिए माया को दूर कौन कर सकते हैं हमसे? केवल भगवान. और जो भगवान को नहीं पकड़ा उसको माया ने, और उसने माया को पकड़े. माया क्या है? फंसाते रहती है, धसाते रहती है. बी केयरफुल अबाउट दिस. Therefore, unless I become a great devotee of full surrender, Lord will not tell the Maya to go away, don't disturb him. Then only I become one with the God. If this all thing is not there, even in the Vedas Upanishads, that the topics of bhakti, later on, the bulkiness of bhakti in thousands of slokas in Purana, they would have not come. If they are not real, they should have not remained till now. Is it not? And the same way that Bhagavan Vedavyasji, the one who has collected the Vedas, codified them, who wrote Brahma Sutra, he only gave us Purana. If the Puranika bhakti of Lord is not necessary, why should he give it? Therefore, he is giving it because it is necessary. That is Paramatma. He is there with his full capacity to see that the Maya doesn't trouble us anymore. Other than that, you may think that you have conquered Maya for 10,000 years. But after that, 1 second is enough for the Maya to defeat us. That's it. 1 second is enough. डिफीट करती है माया हमको, वो है माया। और एक सिर्फ भगवान की भक्ति, दैट विच हेल्प्स अस टू बी फ्रीड फ्रॉम इट। भगवान्स कृपा इन्वोक्ड थ्रू भक्ति। And intricacies, anyway, lot of them are there. This much should be enough. Now Bhagavan's upadesha, how to start our sadhana. Sangam na kuryat asatam shishnodaratrupam kvachito tasyanugatamasi andhe patati andhanugandhavatu. This come to us every day. This topic is coming one way or the other. In Upanishads though we have studied it along with Bhashyam. So today the literal meaning we see, the explanation of part we'll try to touch tomorrow. Sadhana to be done is what? First, sangam na kuryat. Never get sanga or attachment to. To whom? Asatam. And who are the asat purushas? Shishna udarat trupam. Those who are finding the trupti or trying to find trupti in the shishna and udara. Very symbolic it is, very sublime, very beautiful. Shishna Udara are at the lower level of body. Little above the Udara is called Hridaya. Little above the Hridaya is called Kantha. Little above the Kantha is called as Mastishka. The Mastishk में रहने वाला ज्ञान, हृदय में रहने वाला भक्ति, कंठ से होने वाला भगवान का पुकार, through all bhakti sadhanas. Those who don't live life at this level, living at the below level of udara, kama ka bhojan karna वगैरह, udara is the artha purushartha, shishna is kama purushartha. And those who are only at artha kama purushartha, living at the level of belly and below, not above, they are very clearly told by the Lord as they are asat purusha. Asat purusha means they are continuously living in the life of asat only. They are never available for sadvastu or paramatma, because paramatma is not in stomach and in the things below. No shastra says Bhagwan udar hai. Bhagwan to kehte he is in the heart, it is said, or is in the throat, or is only in the sahasrara and all. It is never said पेट में भगवान. भगवान said मैं पेट में हूँ, हजम करता हूँ. That is different. So Shishnodara Trupam Asatam Sangam Na Kuryat. It's a standing order from the Lord. We have to accept it like order only. Then only we are protected. नहीं 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 मैं करूँगा, या करने से क्या नुकसान होगा? Second line, तस्य अनुगाहा. Those who are friends to those Shishnodara Trupasat Purushas. Tamasi ande patati. They will fall in the dark dungeon, deep valley. How? Andha anuga andhavatu. A blind, when he follows other blind, how he falls in the ditch, this fellow also falls. So, into the tamasi andha. What is tamasi andha? Extreme ignorance is called andhakara. Tamasi is the delusion of taking the world as real. Never ever imagining, thinking about the reality at all. Now, these words literally I explained, but कितना हम दिल और दिमाग लगाकर सुनते हुए इसका सार रहस्य को ग्रहण कर रहे हैं, वो तभी होगा जब खुद के मेहनत से सत्वगुणी बनते हैं और भगवान का उपासना करने से उनका कृपा होता है. Then only these most essential ingredients go inside us. It's like doctors giving all injections, फिर भी ठीक नहीं हो रहा. क्यों? कि दवा is not reaching to the point of disease. Some points in the body are there. It is very difficult for the instrument to reach, medicine to reach, to treat. There are some typical funny places. Heart can be one of them, but आज तक वहाँ तक तो गए. One of the very funny aspect is our own nose. ये नाक के अंदर कुछ वो ब्लॉट हो गया, मानो ब्लास्ट. हाउ विल यू रीच टू दैट नाक? क्या काट के उधर पहुंचोगे आप? Although they put the bulb through our mouth inside and they block it and do there something, but it's the most dangerous, risky वाला है. वहाँ कोई दवा पहुंच नहीं सकता, वो किस्मत ही बचाता है उसको. It appears that the operation successful, but it is operation success Bhagavad Kripa हुआ. Because if the nose gets blasted, and if those blood vessels which are in the nose get burst, that blood will not stop. It will go on going. बंदा नाक से कर करके मर ही जाएगा. If you are a little careless, through the nose into the mouth, through the mouth it will go to epiglottis, through that it will go to the lungs, he will collapse only. Most dangerous thing is nose. Swami, why are you teaching us physiology, medicine? In the same way, in the deep core of the heart are the ignorances and vasanas. If to that level this knowledge doesn't go, then that obstacles cannot be removed from there. That's why I'm saying how much as a speaker, me and user listener, these are only identities. Feeling about these meanings of these slokas that decides whether we are growing quickly or taking time. Little bit more about this sloka. Then from the next sloka, Bhagavan Krishna tells the story of the AILA, the Ila Putra, Samrat. Ila is the wife of Buddha. Buddha and Ila, they are the parents of this Pururava. This. And the Buddha is the son of Chandrama. Chandrama. So the Chandravamsha Vistar mein ye aata hai. We'll see tomorrow in the 9th skanda 14th chapter. This Pururava Upakyanam starts in Chandravamsha ka शुरुआत ही Pururava Charitra से होता है. That also I'll relate tomorrow. 4-5 slokas we'll study completely. That story when it comes. But these 3 slokas at least casually, not become too serious or tense enough, casually also at least 3-4 बार आप आज ना सोने से पहले browse through those slokas. Just go. And any deeper feeling, if you feel like, feel it. But I too will do that because very crux. The entire chapter is important. Sarvam Krishnarpanam Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavajishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Sri Guru Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai Sadgunath Maharaj ki Jai. Thank you.